Hi, I'm Natasha Varani with Love and Light Counseling, and I wanted to chat with you a little bit about relationship dynamics based on something called amoeba theory. So, I'm sure we've all been in a relationship before. When we meet somebody, it's wonderful in the beginning, it's all rainbows and unicorns and happy times, and then all of a sudden, as time wears on, there tends to be some friction. So, I want to talk to you about where that friction comes from based on amoeba theory, and then what's the way out. So, if we start back to when we are just developing as a child, let's say we are like a little tiny human, and all of a sudden, when we cry, our mother comes and gives us what we need. But one day, we're crying and our mother doesn't come. Maybe she's on the phone or in the bathroom or is cooking something and is just trying to turn it off for whatever the reason, and we develop a limiting belief about why we haven't been tended to. Now, this is obviously for a baby, it's not so cognitive, it's more felt. So, this child here feels that they are not good enough, or they're not important, or they're not lovable. One of them, whatever that may be. And so there tends to be a little, if as this child grows, a little bite um, that comes out. And this is where they have that wound. And as the child develops, they develop other wounds, of course, as we all do, and yet they still grow solidly in other parts. And where the wounds are is where we develop our mask so that people do not get access to our wounds. So we have a person here who's nicely formed amoeba, and they're waiting for a partner, and when all of a sudden their partner appears, and it's like a match made in heaven, and the two get together and they meet and they fit like two hands should, like a glove. They fit really, really well. And this is the honeymoon phase that I was talking about. So the two people connect, they're in love, they're having a great time. It's all rainbows and unicorns, as they say. And then once we get really close, we realize that after a while, there's a certain level of comfort we have to how close or how far we need to be with somebody. So we kind of try to get back to that. And as we move about, we create friction in these little places of wounding. Now, originally, when we met this person, wherever we had a wound was where they were very solid, and that's what we were initially attracted to in the other person. So if they were extremely helpful, then that would be the one part that we would fall in love with. And then as we've gotten too close and the friction starts to occur, we pull back a little bit. And now this person might move over here, and this person might pursue. And then it gets too close, and this person may distance, and then this person would come close. And then we engage in a dance where we're moving back and forth. And what happens is we move backwards and forwards in an effort to maintain a safe distance from our partner. And sometimes when we are in the conflict area, when we are having this friction, we engage in conflict. And other times we can get really, really close to the other person and we stay where it feels safe. So right in the solid part, the really thick solid part. And we don't brush up against each other's wounds because we don't even go there. And those are couples that tend to fuse together. They don't leave the house much. They dress the same. They only do things together if they attend a party. They're side by side for the whole time. There isn't a whole lot of other involved. It's just them two. So you can have conflict or you can have this extreme fusion. And what happens when we are having this conflict or fusion with our partners is that we're not really engaging with them. We're engaging with our limiting beliefs where we have these wounds. And when that happens, we're not acting from our solid self. We're acting from a very young child that was wounded many years ago. And the way to get through that is to actually approach our partner and be vulnerable and talk about, well, when I was really young, there was this incident that occurred and it made me feel so unimportant. And now that I know when, let's say, you come home late, I'm feeling that unimportant part of me and I'm putting that on you. And I know the truth that I am important, whether you come home on time or late, but I am important regardless of all of that. And it's taking ownership for what is our own wound that we are putting on our partner. So, what are other ways to be vulnerable? When we're vulnerable, we speak from ourselves and there's no blame put on the other person. So it's a lot of I statements. And when we listen to our partner, we listen with open ears and we let go of all of those previous issues that we've had with our partner. We listen with the present part of our bodies right now. So we don't use the junk from the past to paint what we're hearing in this moment. And that promotes a level of understanding. So when I approach my partner and I am vulnerable, he hears me as vulnerable and he can understand where I'm coming from. So when I am acting out from that hurt, wounded 3-year-old or 5-year-old or 2-year-old, whatever age it is, my partner knows where I'm coming from and can say, hey, I'm not the one that's wounding you, but I'm going to hold you here while you're here. And it's knowing that about our partner. And the only way to do that is to be vulnerable and share. Now, the wounds occurred in connection with another person. That's how we develop these limiting beliefs. And so the only way to get through and to correct our mistaken beliefs about ourselves is to do that in connection with another human being. And that's why eye contact is very important, and just knowing that there's the other person there present listening to you. There's lots more to relationship dynamics and other things that you can do to either get out of the cocooning fusion and also to get out of the conflict that is occurring. So book your free 15-minute emotional wellness check-in with me online at www.lovenlight.ca, and I look forward to bringing you a new topic again soon.